need. We are now
Yeah.
going to go into a full stretch. Do not worry. No one on YouTube is going to see you when we share this video, but you will need to get on the floor. So you may use a mat. I think a comforter if you need. I have this little number right here. If anybody else needs to adjust to move your chair out of the way, move a box to the side, whatever you need to do, let's get on the floor. So we're actually going to follow this next video. So it's not like the first one. It is stretching for beginners. You know, we're not doing no yoga, fancy Pilates, fancy. Um, Hopefully, I think they will have some sort of stretch from those two, but yeah, let's see what this gentleman will do. Let's go.
What is up, my Bodyweight Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over a beginner full body flex for this routine, B number 2. The first one was incredibly popular, it helped a lot of people out. I've taken some feedback based on that video, and then today we're going to go through the refreshed and updated routine. Let's jump into it. So to start with, we're going to look at a couple of stretches just for the neck and for that posture, just to help with general day-to-day living and combating that. I'm sat like this. You don't have to be sat like this at all. You can be sat on a chair, you can be sat on the floor, whatever works, whatever is comfortable for you for the moment, and then we can move into some other stuff. So I'm just going to turn around so you can see a little better. We're going to place one hand on the chin, and I'm going to place the other hand on the top of the head. All you're going to do is you're going to try and pull up with the top hand and push the chin down. So we're going to tuck the chin and lift. So it should feel like a nice stretch just going down the spine. We're going to do 20 seconds with one hand up and 20 seconds with another. You don't need to pull too hard. You just want to feel like a slight distraction going down the neck. So just keep holding that. And we're going to swap sides. So we're getting roughly the same stretch when we're doing side to side, but by elevating the arm, you also upperly rotate the scapula, so you get more of a stretch in the levator scapula. It's a little muscle on the back of the head. So keep holding this one just for another 10 seconds. Alright. Just a couple of neck stretches to get going. Next one, staying seated, we're just going to link arms behind our back. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see. Link the arms behind our back. We're just going to pull the shoulder blades back and down. We're just going to try and reach our hands away from us. We're looking to feel a stretch right over the chest, right over the shoulders, and all you're going to think about doing is the same neck position. So I'm going to think about pulling the neck back, tucking the chin. Really trying to lift the chest, pull the shoulder blades back, pull them together. And you should feel like basically a nice stretch over the chest, over the bicep as well. So just keep holding that. This is an active position, so you want to try and continuously just pull the hands away and down. And just breathe. Gonna hold for another 10 seconds. And then now is the bit in which you're going to want to move from wherever you're sitting so you can be on the floor. So what we're going to do from here is I'm just going to come into a sitting position, keep those arms behind us. I'm just going to move my hips away until I feel a nice little stretch over the biceps and the chest. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this position. I'm not going to let my chest slouch. I'm going to try and lift my chest nice and tall. So it's going to feel similar to how the last stretch felt. And we're just looking for just a little bit more of an extreme stretch over the biceps, over the chest. So just think about lifting the chest and moving the hands as far as you feel that you can comfortably get them back. Just breathe. Breathing and tolerating the stretch reflex is one of the two keys to getting just a little bit more flexible, especially in the beginning. So another 5 seconds here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go down into a lying position. I recommend you grabbing a pillow. I've just got a yoga block here. Just something to support the head very slightly. We're going to lie on our side. Imagine like we're going to go to sleep. The more you tuck up the legs, the harder this exercise becomes, or the more intense it becomes. All we're going to do, hand on top, we're going to try and reach as far away from us as we can. And we're going to take a deep breath in, and then just pull, like we're going to pull the bow back, string back, all the way back. Try and touch the elbow onto the floor, and then breathe out and go back to the starting position. We're just going to do 5 of these on each side. So breathe in. Breathe out on the way back. So when we're doing this, we're looking for a little bit of stretch in the chest, but it's also going to go down into the lower back. 3, 2 more. Again, this is relative, like if you can't rotate around as much, that's absolutely fine. If you notice your knee starts coming up, let the legs go out a little bit more. The more tucked it is, the more rotation you need. Do one more. And on this last one, we're just going to hold. I'm just going to take 2 or 3 deep breaths there. Another 5 seconds. And from here, we're just going to go on the other side, so you can turn around. I'm just going to flip around so you can see me. Again, rest the head on something, just so it's relaxed. Sit on the shoulder, tuck up as far as you need to, reach away, breathe in. Breathe out and go back. Two, so again 5 on this side. Did anyone hit that crack? That was my lower back. One more here. I'm just going to hold this position for about 20 seconds. Oh, 5 seconds or so. Perfect. So we're going to stay lying down. We're going to remove the pillow. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to pull the knees into your chest. We're just going to hold this position for about 20 seconds. Again, just a couple of breaths. What we're going to do is we're going to place our left foot down, but also outside of our body line. We're going to tuck the right leg over, and we're going to try and pull the right knee to our left shoulder. So you get a nice stretch in the glutes. And we're just going to hold this position. We're going to do 40 seconds on each side. If you're not feeling as much of a stretch, just make sure you're pulling from your right hip to your left shoulder. So it's coming across the body slightly. And then your bottom leg is just helping to support and keep that foot slightly externally rotated. And it's sort of like it can add a little bit more of weight to the sort of the force going this way. We just hold this. Just breathe. It's a pretty good little stretch. Got another 5 seconds in this position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place our right foot down, again slightly outside, left leg comes over, pull that left knee towards your right shoulder. Again, as told. If it's too intense, just let the knee come up. Don't pull as hard. Just find a comfortable position for yourself. Holding this one for another 10 seconds now. Note if one is tighter than the other, you may want to just pause the video and go back to the other side and spend a little bit of time on the tighter side, or alternatively, just hold it for that much longer. It does tend to even out. But it's perfectly natural to have one side tighter than the other. Right, stay laying down. We're going to flip over onto our front. What we want to do here is we're going to place the arms underneath the shoulders. And all we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, and we're going to breathe out, and just press as far as we can up into what would be a downward dog position. If you can only get to here, don't worry, that's fine. If you can't straighten your arms, absolutely fine. We want to just think about keeping the hips connected with the ground. We're going to breathe in and come down to the bottom. So, breathe out, press up. Breathe in, come back down. I'm just going to do 5 of these. Last one. That's 5. Should just feel a little bit of stretch over the hip flexors, into the lower back as well. We're then going to come back down into lying face down on the ground. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to lift up our right leg, and we're going to try and grab it with our opposite hand. Now, if you can't quite grab it, use the other hand to help, but you just need to be able to grab it. We're then going to pull as far as we can over, so we're going to get a nice little stretch in the quads. But I also want you to think about trying to squeeze the glute to press the hip more into the ground. If you notice that you're pulling here and your hip starts coming up, then we're not getting the most stretch. We want to keep the hips in contact with the ground whilst we're doing this. So squeeze the glute of this back, of this leg that's being stretched. Keep pressing into the ground. And just pull the foot down as far as you can. You can do whatever is comfortable with the other arm. We're just going to hold this one for 30 seconds each side. Again, that whole time we want to kind of be somewhat active, so I want to keep that glute engaged on that back leg.
Ouch.
Another 10 seconds. So we're going to let that one down. Swap arms, swap legs. Right arm, left leg. Again, squeeze the glute, make sure that hip stays in contact with the ground. Let's pull it nice and close. Keep holding it, just keep breathing. Another 10 seconds. Right, so we're going to come up now. So into a kneeling position, we'll place left leg forward. So we're going to come into a bit of a hip flexor stretch. Now, we're just going to now sit in this position. Keep one hand on the floor. We're just going to let the front leg just kind of drop out to the side a little bit so it's not in the way. And we're just going to allow our hip to sink down close to the ground. The main thing here is just to think about keeping the chest nice and proud, so don't try and crouch down with it. We want to emphasize the stretch over that hip flexor. So, nice and tall. Just let the knee drop out and let this hip think about sinking towards the ground. Just going to hold this one for 40 seconds. a nice stretch over the hip flexor, even as the abs, maybe into the lower back. Just keep holding, another 10 seconds. Right, so from here we're going to keep this position. You may want some form of object to support yourself for this one. So we're going to come back, keep that front leg where it is. We're going to try and now form a hamstring stretch. But the key to this one is we want to think about the same thing. We don't just be rounding at the upper back here. Think about keeping the chest tall and then just trying to go as far forward as you can. If you can't touch the floor and support yourself here, then get yourself an object to support yourself on. But just think about keeping the chest tall, and we're going to try and think about pulling this hip backwards. So put it back into the socket. And from here, all we're going to do is we're going to try and press the heel into the ground. So we're going to activate the hamstring and press down for 5 seconds. Breathe out. Try and sink a little bit deeper into it. I'm just going to do 5 of those. So we're going to hold, so press down for 5. And breathe out. Sink a little bit deeper. Press down for 5. Breathe out. Sink a little bit deeper. Press down for 5. Breathe out. I'm going to do one last one. So press down. Breathe out. Perfect. And bring that left leg back. I'm going to put the right leg forward. We're going to do the exact same thing, but on the other side. So left arm down. Drop that knee out. Sink down into the stretch. Keep the chest nice and proud. And just think about that hip going towards the ground. We're going to hold this one for 40 seconds. Again, this is all relative. Like if you can't get down to the ground, get yourself a yoga block just to help you out. Like adjust all of these just as and when you need to. And then over time, we're just looking for that assistance to go down. So keep holding. We've got another 10 seconds here. Really think about squeezing this glute, pushing the hip towards the ground. Perfect. And then we're going to come back. Same hamstring stretch. If you need the assistance, grab your assistance or assistant if you're lucky enough. And again, we're going to press into the ground, 5 seconds. And breathe out. Again, try to keep that chest proud. Don't just hunch over. Try to keep that chest nice and high. Press down. Relax. Relax. We'll do 2 more. So again, press down. Relax. One last one. Press down. And relax. Alright, perfect. That is a quick stretch. We're just going to come now into what would be a frog position. So split the legs as wide as they can go, as wide as you feel comfortable. Again, support yourself with the hands. I'll just turn to the side so you can see a bit better. So the feet can be on the toes at the back. And what we're going to do is we're going to rock back. Again, try to keep the chest proud, trying to sink the hips back as far as you can. So feel a nice stretch on the inside of the leg. Now it's going to rock forward. Rock back, we're going to hold. I'm just going to do 5 of these. So it's going to hold for a couple of seconds in each end of the positions. I'm going to do one last one. Right, come back. Now what we're going to do is we're now going to hop ourselves into our best pike position. But if your pike's up here, that's absolutely fine, don't worry. All we're going to do is we're going to grab a portion of our leg. So if you're not being able to touch toes, you can grab your calves, grab a little bit further down. Ultimately, you want to kind of work towards grabbing underneath of our feet. What we're going to do here, we're going to go down, squat as far as you can down, and then we're going to try and keep the connection with our stomach on our thighs as we then go back into the pike. So I'm going to try and think about keeping this gap closed. Again, squat down as far as you can. Keep that stomach on the thighs. Go back. Go down. Do 5 of these in total, so a couple more. So go up into your pike. Really pull nice and close, as far down as you can. Come back. Last one. Really pull down. And that is basically the routine. So we can finish up now. You can sit in a child's pose, or you can sit in a squat, whatever feels comfortable. But that is essentially the routine. If you enjoyed this routine, if you enjoyed this update, hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. If you want to let me know any feedback, how you get on with this routine, if you're going to give it a go for 30 days, whatever it is, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what is happening with you.
How is everybody doing? Okay, is
It's
anybody
had a gym class.
are you in the squatting position still? But anybody else? I am ready to sleep. This was really, really good. The music for that video,
Yeah, that was soothing.
awesome. That was really, really good. Hopefully you were able to do some, if not all, of the stretches today. We just want to take this time, as I said earlier, to just concentrate. This thing, you only have one of it, right? Can't go in the store and check in for another one. Hopefully you do feel a little bit more stretched and a little bit more released, and that you can, if you're watching this right before you go off to work, you will have a great time, energy, feeling the blood, feeling more oxygen in your body. And if you are going to bed, you go sleepy bye-bye and have yourself a wonderful rest. So thank you for joining us for this special edition of Stretch and Release, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.